Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Red 5 Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the sequel to The Force Unleashed, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. This game was also developed by LucasArts, and it was released in October of 2010. Now I will let you know that there will be spoilers for both this game and for potentially The Force Unleashed. If you haven't checked out my review for The Force Unleashed and would like to, I'll provide a link in this video to where you can go check that out. But with that said guys, let's review. The game takes place months after the events of The Force Unleashed. Darth Vader has been secretly training a clone of Starkiller on Kamino. The clone eventually escapes from Vader and searches for his old friends and allies, such as General Coda and especially Juno Eclipse. The clone agrees to help the Rebel Alliance by providing them information on Vader's facility on Kamino, but Vader has Juno kidnapped by Boba Fett to lure the clone back to him. So now for my thoughts. Overall, I was unfortunately pretty disappointed with this game. The game's graphics were an improvement to the first game, mostly in regards to the cutscenes, but the sequel seriously lacks when it comes to the story. The pacing was worse than The Force Unleashed, and in my review of the first game, I commented on how I wished it was longer. My feelings on that are pretty similar for this game, but more so than the first. This game is very short, and it took me about 3 hours over the course of 2 days to complete. There's not very many planets you travel to, and it doesn't take very long to get through the levels. There's even a moment where you travel to Dagobah, but that level was a waste of time in my opinion, as it was only meant to get us to the next cutscene with Yoda. There was no conflict on Dagobah, you didn't fight any creatures, you just simply walked a few steps, maybe collected a couple of holocrons, and that's it. Very disappointing. I do feel like there was plenty of potential for this story, but sadly it did not deliver. Like the first game, there is an alternate ending with an extra level, but I don't think it benefited the game in any way. I honestly paid $1 to get the DLC, and I don't think it was worth more than that. But I will say that it gave us a more conclusive ending than the main story did. Now when it comes to the gameplay itself, The Force Unleashed 2 was more of a button masher than the first game. Now the choreography with 2 lightsabers looked pretty cool, but again, I could take out groups of enemies just by simply throwing my lightsabers at them, or just using Force Push, or Force Lightning, or Force Repulse. They did add a Force meter to where you could unlock Force Rage and take out your enemies with little effort more than you already could. But honestly, that just added to the OP level that Starkiller already was at, and I rarely used it. Now the next part I'm going to spoil, but the game turns your Force Rage on automatically in your final confrontation with Vader. And while I think the visuals were impressive for that scene, I did have trouble believing that even Vader could have taken a punishment like that and survived. Especially in the alternate ending, the Emperor just barely uses his Force Lightning on him, and he easily submits. Now, I know that he wasn't going to die either way, but still, I feel like the amount of power that Starkiller unleashed on him would have taken out even the most powerful of Sith. However, in all fairness, there's been other Sith Lords that have survived pretty lethal blows as well, so I guess I can't be too nitpicky. Now, I really don't like to be negative, but I have to be honest in saying that I do not recommend this game. While the graphics are better than its predecessor, the gameplay and story seriously lack, and the only reason I still have a copy of this game is just for the sake of collecting. Now, if you played the first game and just want to see it through to the end, then by all means don't let me deter you. But I will also mention that there's a cliffhanger ending to the main story due to The Force Unleashed 3 never being released, so please keep that in mind. I'm going to give Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 1.5 out of 5 stars. But what do you guys think if you've already played it? Did you like it or dislike it? Either way, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Thanks as always for the support, guys, and if you're new and are enjoying the videos, then please consider subscribing if you'd like to stay updated for more of my Star Wars content. As I said in the review of The Force Unleashed, there is also a novelization to this game as well, so be sure to stay tuned because I'll have my reviews for both of those posted very soon. But until then, this is Red 5, standing by.